Hi everyone, welcome back to Monday Positivity. Have you felt lost? Like you're making decisions that don't truly align with who you are? Maybe you find yourself in a job you dislike, a relationship that doesn't fulfill you, or a lifestyle that doesn't feel authentic. Well, if you have been in these situations, it's because you're not following your value compass. Your core values shape the way you experience life. Yet, most of us have never taken the time to define them. And in this episode, I'll help you identify your core values using the value compass so you can start living a more aligned, effortless, and fulfilling life. Now, for those of you who don't know what value compass is, I've already created an episode on it. You can check that episode, or you can just keep listening to me. The value compass is your internal guide that helps you make decisions in line with your true self. When you don't follow your value compass, you might feel stuck, unfulfilled, or even anxious because you're living out of alignment. Think of it like a real compass. When you follow the right direction, everything flows more easily. Consider an example. Imagine a person who deeply values creativity but is stuck in a rigid corporate job. They feel drained and uninspired every day because they aren't honoring their core value. The value compass helps prevent this misalignment. I was speaking to someone the other day, and the person said that job doesn't have to be liked by you because that's why it's called job. Well, I understand. In many cases, you have to struggle initially. But if you think about it, if you try to be mindful of your values in life, you don't always have to struggle, right? And that's why identifying your core values is very important because your values influence your decisions, your relationships, and overall life satisfaction. If you don't have clarity on your values, you might chase goals that aren't truly yours, leading to frustration. Studies in psychology show that people who align their lives with their values experience greater well being. And once you identify your core values, it can have huge impact on your career, on your relationships, and your personal growth. In your career, you will choose the work that aligns with your values, leading to long term fulfillment. In relationships, if you know your values, it will help you set boundaries and attract like minded people. And when it comes to personal growth, you will be able to make intentional choices instead of following societal expectations. But how can you identify your core values? Well, I have come up with 4 steps to help you identify your core values. Step number 1 is to look at your peak moments. Reflect on the happiest moments in your life. What were you doing? Who were you with? And what values were being honored by you and the other person? For example, if you felt happiest when mentoring someone, maybe growth or service is a core value of yours. Step number 2, you need to reflect on your triggers. Now think about moments when you felt extremely frustrated or upset. Often, anger signals that a core value was violated. Specifically for me, when a student was not on time, it really made me feel frustrated. I understand sometimes because I teach online, sometimes we have to connect. Even when the client in mindset coaching, when the clients are not on time, I understand sometimes there are technical issues and everything, but maybe informing the other person beforehand, right, can help. And another example could be if you are someone who gets upset when people are dishonest. Maybe integrity is your core value. Step number three, you need to assess your daily life. Look at how you spend your time. Are your current habits reflecting what truly matters to you? For example, if you love adventure but spend all day in routine tasks, you're not honoring your value. And I'm not saying you always have to go for adventure, honoring your value, because we are not just talking about one value. It could be that structure is another value that you honor. So, yes, routine tasks give you structure, but at the same time, if adventure is your value, maybe you can pick one day for something adventurous. And the last step is to do the 5 whys exercise. This is an amazing exercise. How to do it? Pick something important to you and ask why 5 times to uncover its deeper meaning. For example, why do I love working on my business? Well, because I love freedom. Why do I love freedom? Because I want control over my life. Why do I want control over my life? Because independence matters to me. Why does independence matter to me? Right? So that's how you can ask 5 whys, and it will help you uncover the deeper meaning and your core value. Now, if you are someone who's struggling with finding core values and how to name them, you can start with a common list of core values. You can start with values like integrity, growth, freedom, adventure, creativity, connection, family, health, service, learning. You can pick this list and circle the ones that deeply resonate with you. There are so many values, right? And now let's also talk about aligning your life with your core values. Because once you know your core values, the next step is always implementation. The next step is always to align your life with them. So, how can you do that? First of all, start setting goals based on your values. Instead of setting goals based on what society expects, ask yourself, does this align with my core values? For example, if freedom is your top value, a remote job might be more fulfilling than a corporate 9 to 5. Maybe society expects you to have a 9 to 5 job, but it doesn't align with your core value, right? So you have to start setting goals based on your core values. Step number two is to always audit your relationships. You have to ask yourself always, do the people around you support your values or do they conflict with them? For example, if honesty is something you really cherish in your relationships, do people in your life really honest? If someone constantly disrespects your boundaries, they might not align with your values. Or if somebody is constantly showing dishonesty, they might not align with your values. And step number three is to adjust your daily habits. Ask yourself, does my daily routine reflect my values? For example, if health is a value, are you prioritizing exercise and nutritious meals? Right? Now, there is, power in living by your values. People who live in alignment with their values experience less stress, more fulfillment, and greater clarity in decision making. And I have actually experienced it. Making a list of my values helped me navigate my life easily. When you're faced with a tough choice, simply ask yourself, does this align with my value compass? Life becomes easier when you stop living for others and start living in alignment with your true self. And how can you discover your true self? Once you discover your values. And now that you know how to identify your core values, take action. Write down your top 5 values. And if you want to, you can also tell me in the comments below what are your non negotiables in life? What are your top 5 values that you want to live your rest of live the rest of your life with? If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, share it with somebody who might benefit from it. Check out my other episodes on personal growth and self discovery. I'll see you next time, and I hope you start living by your values.